Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16e and compare it against the iPhone 16 Plus and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, here's the thing. Between both these phones, clearly the more expensive phone is probably going to be the one that's going to be the better one for you. So the 16 Plus is probably going to have more capability and more features for the most part than the iPhone 16e because that is the more expensive phone. But with that being said, I still think a phone like an iPhone 16e is still a very interesting one to say the least as well. That's going to be giving you lots and lots of capability, lots of stuff built inside of it as well. And we'll take a look at it throughout this whole entire video. So first things first, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone 16 Plus, which came out late last year, on the front side of this phone is going to be giving you a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of phone and this type of screen definitely looks very, very good for the most part. It's not perfect and it's not even the best panel, but it's a good enough panel. And I do think that is in and of itself kind of somewhat of a nice thing going on for this type of screen. It's a dynamic island, so it does give you a little bit of a hole punch. It's kind of bigger than a hole punch, but it's pretty nice when it comes down to it too. And that's kind of it. It's 60 Hertz. There's not really anything super crazy going on with this type of phone, but it's more or less what you'd expect. And I do think if you are going to go through and pick up a phone, this is pretty much the type of device that you'd probably expect for this type of price tag. I mean, 800 or 900, you could probably do a little bit better, to be honest. The iPhone 16e is a cheaper iPhone. This is supposed to be more of a budget phone. And this one's going to be giving you a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this one is going to be a little bit more different because it's going to be one of those types of devices that's essentially going to be, it's going to be giving you 60 Hertz display. It's going to be giving you the notch up top. It's more or less going to be kind of something that's, more or less you'd kind of expect at this point. So I do think that is kind of in and of itself, again, one of those more important things to keep in mind here too. Because if you're going to go through and pick up a device, well, it might make more sense to go and buy something like an iPhone 16 Plus. The 16e is still giving you this 60 Hertz display. It doesn't really get the brightest. It's not as bright as the 16 Plus too. But like I said, I think more or less what you'd expect, it's pretty much a panel that you'd probably expect to buy in this day and age anyways. So from that side, on the front side of both, that kind of covers it up there. Both are giving you USB Type-C ports on the bottom, which is nice to have as well. You're getting flat sides on both. On the back side, you're getting a frosted glass back on both of these phones. So having a frosted glass back, I think is really nice. I love having that, and you're getting that type of capability on both these phones. On the back side of the 16e, you're getting a single wide-angle camera. On the 16 Plus, you're getting a dual camera setup, so wide and an ultra-wide camera. So I do think that is in and of itself, again, another really cool thing going on for this phone too. You're getting wireless charging on both. You're getting MagSafe capability on the iPhone 16 Plus. The 16e is just giving you standard wireless charging, so no MagSafe on that phone, which is kind of a disadvantage if you ask me. So definitely when you look at the exterior, I definitely will tell you the iPhone 16e is probably the one giving you more, it's giving you a cheaper price. The 16 Plus is giving you a far better looking phone when it kind of comes down to it, and you're getting more colors inside of that phone too. When it comes down to the price tag though, the 16 Plus is $900, the iPhone 16e is $600. So this is an interesting thing here because in my personal opinion, as you probably would have expected, a phone like an iPhone 16 Plus, that's a good phone, but it's a pretty expensive phone when it kind of comes down to it. That is a pretty pricey type of device if you're going to pick one up. And that is kind of one of those important things to keep in mind here, because if you're going to go and buy a phone, if you're wanting the more expensive device, well, you're going to have to spend more money on it, obviously. So it's going to be more expensive on the 16 Plus over something like the iPhone 16e. So once again, from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. Now, in terms of the cameras, the iPhone 16e is giving you this 2-in-1 camera setup inside of it. It's, the 2-in-1 camera. The iPhone 16 Plus is giving you a dual camera setup. So it's a wide and ultra wide camera. So that one is going to be giving you a 48 megapixel fusion camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So what I can definitely tell you from a camera standpoint is that a phone like an iPhone 16 Plus is probably going to be the device that will probably give you a more powerful camera than the iPhone 16e. So the big advantage I would say with something like an iPhone 16e is that with that camera, you do get already 2x or 2x zoom inside of it. So that is actually pretty nice to have. Being able to go through and get a camera like that that's going to be giving you that type of capability, I think is really nice, right? So that in and of itself is a pretty nice thing to basically have inside of it. But the 16 Plus is giving you that 2x zoom and an additional 0.5x camera inside of it as well. So it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. I will definitely tell you, without a doubt, in my personal opinion, a phone like an iPhone 16e is going to probably be a better device. It's going to be a good device for a price tag standpoint, but the 16 Plus is definitely going to be a better one here in almost every single way you can imagine. So from that side too, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, another very important thing to keep in mind here too is that between both of these phones, definitely the iPhone 16 Plus, I would say, is a better package, but both of these phones are going to be giving you basically the same software experience. So they're both going to be giving you Apple Intelligence with a lot of other Apple Intelligence features inside, but you're also going to be able to go through and essentially get, the other features inside of these two phones too, like really long software support. Both of these phones are going to be supported with software for a long period of time. So that is in and of itself a really nice thing to basically be able to have. To be able to pick up both of these phones and get that type of capability, I think is really awesome. On top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is that within both these phones, because they're giving you Apple Intelligence, you're going to be getting a very long supported phone anyways beyond both too. So that right there, I think, is another very important thing to keep in mind there as well. Now, on top of that, another very important thing to keep in mind here is the battery life. Funny enough, the iPhone 16 Plus, because it is a bigger phone, you'd expect it to last way longer. It's only giving you, it's giving you 27 hours of video playback, which is great, but the 16e is giving you 26 hours of video playback. So that right there is actually something very interesting to kind of think about, because if you're trying to go through and pick up a phone, well, a phone like an iPhone 16e, it's not really going to be lasting you like that much less than something like an iPhone 16 Plus. So I think that right there is another very important thing to keep in mind there too. Finally, when it comes down to the performance, the iPhone 16e is giving you the Apple A18 chip with 8 gigs of RAM, and the iPhone 16 Plus is giving you the exact same thing. The main difference here though is that with the 16 Plus, you're getting 6-core CPU, 5-core GPU, with the 16e is giving you 6-core CPU and 4-core GPU. So there's one less GPU core inside of the iPhone 16e. Is it a big deal? Absolutely not. It's basically the same type of layout here. You're basically going to be getting the same type of device for the most part. And I'm going to tell you, there's really not that big of a difference when you're looking at both these types of devices. They're both almost the same type of layout. They're both the same type of device. So I do think that is in and of itself kind of a nice thing going on for both these phones too, because you're going to be able to go ahead and buy both of these, have a really good experience within both, and really not feel like you're going to be missing out on too much when it comes down to the performance or the feature set beyond both. It just so happens that when you're looking at both these devices, there are probably better devices to go and buy rather than these ones. I think a phone like an iPhone, 16e is good, and I think a 16 Plus is good too, but I keep thinking the iPhone 15 Pro, which is cheaper than a brand new 16 Plus, I think that is the better phone to go and buy. That one makes a lot more sense to go and pick up. And if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, it genuinely makes a lot more sense to go and buy a device like that one rather than this one. So from that side, for the most part, that kind of covers it up there as far as I can tell. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.